FamilyAffairs.com contributor Dr. Dan Gottlieb. Hi, Dr. Dan.
Hey, Roseanne, it's good to be with you.
It's great to be here. Dr. Dan, I'd like to talk to you today about extramarital affairs. You know, many times couples go through difficult periods, an affair happens, they either decide to try and work through it, or many of them break up. And I think really what people don't realize, that when the affair happens, I really don't think that the affair is the cause of the unhappiness or the breakup.
Well, there are those who say, and there was a recent article in Psychology Today, I forget the author, who said that affairs are unconsciously planned. I don't like that word because it's kind of pejorative and judgmental. But there are building blocks early on for these affairs. For example, you might feel unheard. You might feel disrespected. Mm-hmm. I've got a friend of mine who spoke to many of her women friends who said, if I were to get a divorce over anything, it would be the dishes and the housework. And it's not about the dishes, even though they can frustrate you no end, and even create violent fantasies with some people. It's not about the dishes. It's about not being heard, not being seen. For whatever reason, this is an important issue.
Or not being appreciated.
Right. And is it that you're not being appreciated, not feeling appreciated, but there's a problem in the relationship? Something's going on here that is either unfulfilling or hurtful. And we don't often notice it early on. It goes underground, and you can put up with it because, you get angry and frustrated, but the next day you're happy.
Right.
But things, and I don't want to talk about dishes anymore, but things, they build, and they build. If sex is problematic or not frequent enough, and you don't have that conversation, mm-hmm. Or, if you find yourself saying things like, I love my partner, but I don't feel in love anymore. That's a danger sign. Or you make statements to your friends, your peers, like, I'm a little bored mm-hmm. with my marriage, or I'm a little bored with sex, or...
I had just had a conversation with somebody who was talking about that their wife had asked them for a divorce 2 years ago. And the conversation I had with the person was that my feeling is that as soon as that word comes out, divorce, that's not something new. That's something that's been festering inside of that person for a long time. It's just that they got to that point. And I really almost think that when it gets to that point in a relationship, it's a point of almost no return.
Well, it makes it...
It's a very critical...
It makes it very difficult. And you look at the prognosis of mm-hmm. all the different kinds of therapies. Marital therapy has the worst prognosis. And the reason is couples come to a therapist on the average of 6 years mm-hmm. after the problems began.
Right. They wait too long.
All the scar tissue, resentment, hidden feelings that are in there. It's hard at that point, not impossible. Mm-hmm. Couples can get better.
So you're saying even when they've gotten to that point, you feel that they can work on it and move beyond it? And it's not just moving beyond the affair, like we said, because it's really not, the affair isn't the true cause of it. Moving beyond all of the other issues.
Absolutely.
So I guess the best things that couples can do and something for them to take away with from this conversation is to have honest conversations with one another, even though it's very difficult to do.
Early on in the process, say what you're uncomfortable with, even if you fear the repercussions. Say what you're uncomfortable with, even if you're embarrassed by it, even if you think it's no big thing. Say it. Say it out loud, and even if it starts an argument, even if your partner gets angry or you get angry, it starts something. And an argument sometimes in a marriage that's not open like this can blow out the cobwebs, and you can start to have a discussion. But have that discussion. You can move on from almost anything, but you and your partner have to say, I really want
Right.
to stay with this person.
You have to be committed to go through the process and to stay together. I just recently had heard from a couple where they actually said that they were going to marriage counseling, but they found out that one party was going to help for the counseling to help them break up,
Right,
which the other one is going to try and save the marriage. So if you're not on the same page, it's never going to work. You have to make the commitment.
And then it's a double betrayal.
Yes.
You know, say your truth. We all want to be known. We all want to be understood. We all want to be cared about, and you can't do it. You can't get that unless you say your truth. You can't be known.
Wonderful advice. Thanks, Dr. Dan.
Sure.